to internal power is what I'm going to be covering with you today. There comes a point where everything in life seems and feels loud. The work pressure, the family needs, the emotional overload that you've been carrying for so long with everyone else without having a soft spot to land. This happened for me for years. I get it. And when I did finally try to sit down and have quiet time, my brain would wheel into what's next. What am I forgetting? And I would jump up and be moving and doing more. So even when the outside world sees capacity, stability, and strength, there's an internal part that whispers something has to shift. This was me. I would always say, this shit can't be it. And it has to shift. And today is about that shift. So, not through force, not through perfection, but through nervous system safety and momentum and calm internal power, calm internal leadership, something that most exhausted and high functioning parents never get taught. So, today, many parents don't even identify this type of thing as overwhelm. They see it as bucketing it back into the responsibility pool. So, as we're holding it together and as we're trying to figure everything else out, no matter what, the pattern just keeps repeating. When life demand increases, high capacity people often respond by increasing output. And it doesn't really help the internal system, doesn't help regulate your system. So when you think about it, and I lived this for years, I've just got my little checklist here. I just got to fix it because it keeps me on track. But things like stress, high capacity people, when stress is high, their output is high. When the pressure's high, their output is high. When emotional load rises, the output still increases, and the outputs may or may not be good quality. So until the body interrupts that pattern, not through dramatic breakdown like burnout, but through hesitation and distraction and irritability and capacity and drips and sudden fatigue, or even just invisible sense of, I can't keep doing this, I can't keep going this way. It's not weakness, it's a capacity alert. Your nervous system in your body and even your brain is telling you something has to change, something has to shift. So, in this video, I want to cover why it's important and what you can do for a micro solution. So, traditional self development teaches people how to push harder and to optimize more and to discipline more, teaches you, strategies and skills. But high functioning parents already do too much. So, it doesn't help. I used to get frustrated with that and I couldn't label it, I didn't know what it was. So, effort is not the problem. The real challenge is the internal power and the energy leaks. So, the ability to make decisions from alignment instead of urgency. Instead of tapping into what we call FOMO, the fear of missing out, you lead yourself with clarity instead of pressure. You build momentum without draining your nervous system. You're able to give effort from internal power that doesn't create burnout. It's internal power that creates the body, that safe haven to be able to do better, longer. That's the gap that we're filling today. So, a calm power framework that you can tap into, and here are just three quick little shifts that can create calm power. The version of leadership, and leadership being leading yourself, that feels grounded rather than reactive. So, awareness before action, especially when it comes to high performers and high influencers, like often make decisions out of habit, fear, or obligation, and it's usually a quick decision. Calm power slows that loop down just enough to ask some little questions so that you can make a better decision. Like, what is it that I actually need right now? So, when somebody's trying to sell you something and there's a deadline, what is it that you need? Do you even need that? Most people have never been taught how to check their emotional capacity before they choose their next move. So that's number one. Number two is micro momentum. You hear me use this word a lot. This is like my go to word instead of overload. So when you have micro momentum shifts, Your system doesn't want a life overhaul, it wants to be aligned and shift repeated consistently, slowly and easily. A boundary, a pause, a 2-minute reset before entering your day or entering a room or even answering somebody. Sometimes you just need to, before you even respond to someone, that one little breath can change the outcome dramatically, especially if you're in high stress, high tension, high demand environments. Number three would be support that holds emotional overload. Internal power grows faster when you're not carrying everything alone. When you're a high functioning parent, often lacking, or even a high functioning professional, and you lack space where you can have a soft landing, it can both be a strength for you as a human being, but also as your energy. So it supports you and stabilizes you versus you functioning in weakness and burnout. So, why this matters right now is because so many people are living like this right now. They're constantly go, 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 high stress, worried about bills, worried about money, worried about their jobs, worried about, where things are going. Some people even dive into stuff they cannot control and it just completely consumes them and overwhelms them. Things like politics. So internal power impacts everything and having that internal awareness to be able to tap into it helps you control what you can control and not worry about what you can't control. So, the way you communicate with yourself and your partner, how you react or ground yourself when you're with your kids, your confidence at work, your emotional capacity through the day, your ability to follow through without forcing anything is what can build your calm internal power. So when internal power rises, the external world changes with it as well. So not because life gets easier, but it's because you're no longer fighting and forcing and feeling that friction. So there are ways that this message, if it lands with you and if it's meant and you're ready, I have built 3 safe spaces for you to come into. Now the first two, when you come into my field and you work with me as a client, you automatically get access to my Annihilation Edge community. It's a given, because that's where the magic happens. That's where we come together. But the main area that I focus on and the safest pod that I have for people is my group coaching memberships. So inside the group coaching, everything has been revamped, so it's all newer. So the group coaching is just getting started. The Annihilation Edge community is just getting started. And these are safe spaces, safe havens, because what I noticed is it's great to have one on one coaching with people, but sometimes you need that community. You need people you can relate to. You need to know you're not going it alone. So that's why I've revamped and reshaped how I'm working with people now. So the group coaching is huge. That's where you get to deep dive. That's where you get to tap into what's happening with you, with a group of people, and we get to come together in the community. You have your own specific areas where the replays will lie. You have your own area for your um, live virtual calls, and we will be sharing resources, and it's in a specific area that everyone else won't have access to. The second way is through Ignite Your Personal Power. This is an online program that I created that's great for people that want to dive in but don't want that heavy group connection yet. So they want to be able to start on their own at their own pace. This is a 5-week online program. It's heavily geared around awareness and micro shifts for lasting change. This is like the foundation. This is like the screw pilings, the concrete, everything is built on. So this is a great place to start. It's not live yet. It's going live in January. So I have opened up a wait list if you want to jump in there. But lastly is the community itself. When you become a client, you get access to the community for free. So if you join group coaching or Ignite Your Personal Power, you're instantly in the community. But if you want to just come join the community, that's a soft place to land where you get to come in with like minded people. You get to have communications, ask questions, but it's a softer, safer space to land with some education, with some triggers, little tips and tricks and prompts for you to focus on where it is you are and where it is you want to start making micro shifts to improve. So, with all of that being said, I want to make sure that whatever I bring you brings you value, brings you something that you can take away. And I wanted to create safe spaces, safe pods to do that. So that's why I've set up everything with the group coaching, Ignite Your Personal Power, and the community. So if your life doesn't need a loud version of you, so if you're needing something steadier, an internal power, not a force, and it's aligned, come join me in one of these three avenues. Like I say, one of them you get access to automatically when you become a client anyway. So that's where the magic happens. So I hope this serves you well. Take care, and we'll talk again soon. And like I say, the links will be in the comments below. But if you ever have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out and talk to me directly and touch base and connect. I'd love to hear from you. Take care.